The best approach in life is to penetrate the world with your authenticity, to make sure everybody around you feels your raw authenticity inside of them. You see, every single person resonates with authenticity. Even if you don't like that person for who they are, there's still a part of you that respects them for being authentic. You know, I've never really been good at anything in my entire life. I was always the epitome of average. I was okay at school, a 3.4, 3.5 student, nothing to take home about, so basically a disgrace to my culture. I wasn't unathletic, but I wasn't that athletic as well. Wasn't terrible at sports, but definitely wasn't the best as well. I was trash at video games, I was awkward, introverted, not antisocial, but not that social either. Absolutely no charisma, no aura. I was kind of the guy that was just there. Just extremely average, invisible, nothing outstanding, right? And the only thing I've ever been good at in my life was just being myself. Because it was always my personal philosophy, even when I was younger, like in elementary school, I just wanted to be me, I wanted to be real, I wanted to be authentic. If nothing else, I would want people to think that, you know what, he was a real guy, he was a genuine guy. Because authenticity, and I really believe this, is the key to everything in life. As a matter of fact, I can't think of a situation where authenticity wouldn't yield the best outcome for your life as it pertains to happiness and fulfillment. Because there will be situations where the more of yourself you are to the world, the more likely that you're going to find people that dislike you for who you are, people that hate your guts. And this is why fence sitters get along with everyone, but also why no one really respects or remembers them. And don't get me wrong, right? There's definitely opportunities you can find in conformity, and kind of just conforming to society in exchange for your soul. But also by being 100% authentic, you're going to find people that like you for genuinely who you are. Because who you are is exactly what you're putting out there in the world. By being unapologetically myself, it's easy for me to tell who fucks with me and who doesn't. So there's no friction in my life in that aspect, and you can apply this to anything. Like, be authentic as it pertains to your social life, your professional life, your romantic life, anything. Any avenue of life that you put yourself in. No matter what you do, penetrate the world with your raw authenticity. And that's my mindset in everything that I do. If you lead with authenticity and you're honest with yourself about what you want to do in life, then everything else will fall into place. Like, the reason why so many young adults are depressed, feeling lost on antidepressants, having a midlife crisis every few months, is because most people aren't honest with themselves about what they want in life. And you're kind of unable to confront that reality because that would mean breaking down everything you've done up until this point. And that's scary, right? Like, some people chase fame and wealth, right? But what they really want, what they're really chasing, is attention and validation. They think subconsciously, if I become famous, people will like me. If I become rich, I can live a certain lifestyle and I'll be validated for my existence. Like every other guy fantasizes about being able to pull up to their reunion in a supercar and kind of flexing with materialism to get validation from the people around them. If you can live authentically, you can see past that and you can be honest with yourself with what you're chasing and the things that you really want in life. Because I'll tell you this, there's absolutely nothing that will waste your time more than lying to yourself. Or let's apply this in relationships, right? A lot of people are unhappy in their relationships because they're not honest with themselves about what they want. So they end up settling or building this resentment deep down inside. And when it comes to dating, if you lead with authenticity, that will 100% yield the best result for a long-term relationship. Because the more authentic you are, the more you put yourself out there, you will eventually find a girl that likes you for exactly who you are. If you try to put on a front and be someone you're not, eventually the act is gonna wear off. It's like, why do you think the girls are attracted to the bad boys, right? It's because they don't care. When you don't care, you can just be yourself, and that's a dominant characteristic trait that women are attracted to. Not the guy that tries to appease to their will, because that comes off inauthentic, that comes off fake, and they can sense it on a biological level. That's why they're not attracted to guys that they can have on a leash. And I know what you're thinking. Everybody says be yourself when it comes to dating, but that never works for me. That's because your current self isn't the best version of yourself. You still have to improve. Like, you can't just be a guy that's in his drawers, out of shape, smelly, greasy, doing nothing, Cheeto fingers, and be like, this is me, this is my authentic self. Everybody says be yourself, but it's not working. And it's like, yeah, because your authentic self is your worst version possible. And this is what everyone gets conflated when everyone says, oh, be yourself when it comes to dating, but what if that person sucks? Shouldn't they not be themselves? And it's like, no, they're just a bad version of themselves. If you're a shitty person, if he's some dude with a negative attitude, you can't just be negative and be like, I'm just being myself and it's not working. I'm being myself, right? It's like, you're not being yourself. You're being a negative version of yourself. Be authentic, but still self-improve. And also another thing is, a lot of people surround themselves with people that don't care about them, or people that they don't relate to just out of fear of loneliness, which is why those social interactions feel tiring and leave you feeling more lonely than you did before. If you're able to be honest and real with yourself and realize that certain people you're simply around just because you're afraid to be alone, It'll lead you to more fulfilling relationships with the people that you do genuinely care about. If you can be authentic with yourself first and then lead with that going into the world, that's going to exponentially increase the quality of your life, the richness of your relationships with the people around you, and it'll give you the clarity that you're looking for in life and ultimately make you much happier. Because that clarity eliminates a lot of friction in your life and you'll waste a lot less time because you're going to be more intentional with what you do and how you spend your time, which of course translates to you being happier. The best way to live authentically is by doing what you love. And it's honestly the main reason why I never get depressed or sad anymore. And obviously you have some bad days here and there, right? Some shit happens. Because generally speaking, most of the times I'm living in alignment with my true desires, beliefs, morals, and values. Like I try my absolute hardest to never lie to myself. And if you apply this mindset to everything you do in life, you're going to see the quality of your life exponentially increase. Let's use politics as an example, right? The reason why Trump won and the reason why Kamala lost is because of authenticity. Most people, most American people, right, they don't vote on policy. Like aside from abortion, you probably can't name a single policy of Kamala Harris. What Trump did was he utilized social media to put his authentic self out there. Being on podcasts, being unfiltered, being funny, saying exactly what was on his mind. Like with him, what you see is what you get, right? Now is he perfect? Of course not, nobody is. But Kamala lost because she thought by using the same basic politician playbook from Hillary and Obama, she was gonna win. You know, using the same scripts, rehearsed talking points, fake emotional appeals, fake smiles, fake virtue signaling. Everything about her just kind of reeked of inauthenticity. And the American people are tired of politicians because they're fake. Nobody respects politically correct fence sitters. Like, you can't fool people. There's a reason why authenticity is a quality that every single person respects. Because you can feel it, right? You can feel when somebody is real, when they're being authentic, when someone is speaking from the heart, whether they're right or wrong. Again, you might not like them because of who they are, but you still can't help but respect someone who's authentic, someone who's real. Like, if there was just one point throughout her run, throughout her campaign, where Kamala wasn't just rambling or sticking to scripts or talking points or just that weird laugh that she does, and really just opened up and been herself and said exactly what was on her mind and how she felt, I'm not saying she would have won, but it definitely would have helped. And if you really think about it, before Trump, the youth really didn't care about politics. Like back then, politics was really just something that old people and nerds cared about. But ever since Trump ran in 2016, it's been a part of the culture. Because he didn't come from a politician background, he was a businessman. But he was also unfiltered. You never heard a politician act or talk like him. The guy naturally has charisma, whether you like him or hate him. What you see is exactly what you get. It's exactly why he won the swing states and the popular vote. Like, what other presidential candidate has as much savage moments and compilations all over social media? And whether you want to say that's a bad or good thing, whether you think that makes him a loose cannon or that makes him more relatable, one thing it does say is that he's unfiltered. And someone that was unfiltered was like a breath of fresh air in politics. Now, don't get me wrong, right? All of these people to a certain extent are paid for. There's definitely certain groups of lobbyists in American politics that control the government in some way, shape, or form. That's always going to be the case no matter who's in charge. But authenticity is why Trump won. People resonate with authenticity and realness. I don't know how many of you guys watched WWE growing up, but when I was young I used to watch a lot of pro wrestling. And the best promos, the best storylines always came from a place of truth, where the lines between reality and fiction were blurred. Like, those were always the most entertaining storylines to watch. I remember when CM Punk left the WWE and he had this infamous segment where he went off on Vince McMahon and the entire company. And that promo was the best he's ever shot because you can tell he was being real. He was speaking from the heart and you can feel it. The audience could feel it. You could feel his frustration, his disdain, his anger, and that was essentially what made the audience rally behind him. Or when Matt Hardy's girlfriend cheated on him with another superstar. You could feel his hurt and it wasn't something you could write or script. But Vince being Vince found some way to capitalize on it. And they made it into a storyline and it was extremely entertaining. Even when it comes to YouTube, right, it's no different. Doing what you love and leading with authenticity, right? Every creator will tell you the exact same thing because it's true. A misconception about YouTube is that you have to be some sort of expert, which isn't true at all, obviously. You just gotta be yourself, talk about what you want to talk about. Do what you love, make what you love. And like I said earlier, people who like you for you will gravitate towards you. The more you put yourself out there, you just have to find the courage to do so. Not everybody is going to like you, that's just life. You have to not only risk, but also accept being disliked. Because that's how you're going to find people who genuinely like you for you. The answer to all the questions you have in life is authenticity. To be honest, I was feeling kind of sick today. It didn't feel like recording, but I was like, stop being like that voice inside my head. So now I'm here. Anyways, thank you for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. With that said, make sure you stay true. I'll talk to you real soon. Peace.